Is prostate growth a lifetime constant, or does enlargement accelerate in our later years? Later years. Great question, Michael. You know what? We actually feel as though as testosterone levels decrease, prostate size starts to increase. As inflammation in your body increases, prostate size starts to increase, right? So if we can decrease inflammation in your body, if we can decrease the amount of fake estrogens and toxins that are in your body, and if we can increase your testosterone over time in your body, you actually should see the growth of your prostate actually slowing down and not accelerating. So there are certain times in your life, and you'll talk to guys who at one point their prostate was really enlarged, now it's back down to size, then they'll go back in and it's enlarged. That's because what's happening metabolically in our body, what's happening hormonally in our body impacts what's happening in terms of those cells of the prostate. And then also another part to this is every part of our body has cells that are supposed to die off, new ones grow. They die off, new ones grow. We call it apoptosis. And our genetics, our DNA, our bodies are regulating that apoptosis cycle. So what you want cells to die. You want them to be cleared from the body and you want new ones to grow. What you don't want is cells to just keep dividing, keep replicating, keep growing without those cells that we know are damaged, our body kind of coming in, they're programming the cell death and them dying off. Apoptosis or cell death is also responsible for how large the prostate is going to get, and whether or not those prostate cells actually develop into cancer. Because what cancer really is are cells that have replicated. They're going at this such a high rate, and then they're not getting killed off or apoptotic. They're not dying off at a rate that they should. And so what happens is if the die off rate is slower and the replicating rate is higher, what eventually happens is that those cells can actually turn themselves into cancer cells, right? So we're always in pursuit of how do we turn this process off? How do we slow this? How do we change it so that it actually is providing support for the body instead of something disruptive to the body? Great. I thought increased testosterone was bad for an already enlarged prostate. And I think a lot of people think this, Big Drew. I think that this is one of the misconceptions about testosterone and testosterone replacement is this idea that if you have the proper level of testosterone, that it's going to make your prostate even larger. But I want you to think about this rationally, right? Because even though we can talk about the science, let's just think about what makes sense. So if you're in your 20s, when your testosterone is at its highest level, we don't see enlarged prostates in the 20s unless it's because of prostatitis or an infection or some type of inflammation. We see it in the late 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s. Prostate gets larger and larger every decade of life. But what's happening to your testosterone every decade of life? It's getting lower and lower every decade of life. So when you even think about it logistically like that, it don't make no sense. But when we think about it scientifically, I think what we have to keep in mind is as your testosterone levels go up, we have a couple of different things that can happen with that testosterone. That testosterone can stay bound up. It's just good old-fashioned testosterone. It can become free testosterone and then it's usable. It can actually be converted into DHT. It can be converted into estradiol, the women's hormone, technically, but everybody needs it. So the main scientific thought, and I disagree a little bit, is that DHT, that specific form of testosterone, is what tends to cause an increase in the size of the prostate. So just because you have higher levels of testosterone present doesn't mean that your DHT levels are going to go up. So no, having adequate levels of testosterone in your body actually is associated with smaller sized prostates. better health overall, lower blood sugars, better blood pressure, stronger bones, less heart disease. So actually, optimized testosterone is really where you want to be in terms of your prostate and everything else in your body.